Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. You guys know that I talk a lot about your maintenance calories, counting your calories, how to stay lean without counting calories, macro breakdown, and of course the importance of protein. Now, during my online coaching, either the one-on-one or the group coaching that I run, basically the first thing that I get my girls to do is to count their calories. I remember early on when I first started doing meal plans many years ago, people would come to me and they'd tell me that they're eating, say, 1,200 calories, and then they couldn't lose weight. So I'd write them a meal plan, and we would start them at 1,200 calories and move up from there. And you know what would happen? They would start to lose weight. But that doesn't really make sense, because if they were eating 1,200 calories before my meal plan, then they lose weight after my meal plan. What on earth could have happened? Statistically, people actually underreport or underestimate their calorie intake by up to 40%. So people think that they're consuming 1,200 calories, but they're actually consuming 1,600 or say 1,700 calories. So by giving them a meal plan at 1,200 calories, they would actually be in a 30 to 40% deficit. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, but the most common ones are people simply have never actually tracked their food properly before, so they're simply guessing, or they only track on weekdays, so say Monday to Friday, when they're consuming the 1,200 calories a day, but then when it comes to the weekend, they're actually consuming double, and they don't track it, either because they kind of know that they're doing the wrong thing, or because they want the weekend off tracking, or whatever it might be. But effectively, they're over consuming on the weekend, increases their average daily intake to a lot higher than they actually assume. So if you don't know what your actual intake is, then it's almost impossible to get the result that you want. I don't actually do generic training programs or generic meal plans or generic anything, to be honest. Basically, all the ladies that I work with have already done the generic stuff before. They're with me because that stuff hasn't worked for them, for one of 100 reasons. So what I do is first understand the entire picture, okay? It's not just sign up and get given a calorie goal and then an off-the-shelf training program, because where you are at in your journey, how much experience you have, how much you're consuming calorie-wise, what your current activity is like, all of these things combined and more, obviously, will make up the strategy that I put together for you, okay? So part of understanding all of that, we need to know your maintenance calories, okay? The amount of calories you consume to neither gain nor lose weight, okay? So if you're watching this and you're new to tracking your calories, or you're getting back into fitness, or you've been tracking in the past and you're going to start tracking again, basically anyone watching this, I always recommend to start tracking your current intake. So don't try and impress yourself or anyone else by reducing your intake at the start. Simply eat and drink how you would normally eat, okay? A normal week, and enter that into MyFitnessPal. If you usually have a packet of Tim Tams on a Friday night and a pizza and a bowl of wine, enter them, guys, okay? It's really important to see what your current intake is like. And as I said before, I could almost always assume people were underreporting, but there were times that I would give out, say, a 1,200 calorie meal plan because that was what they tracked, and a client would gain weight, meaning that they were eating less than that before, which would need an absolutely different strategy, okay? Situations like this is a huge reason, a huge part of the reason that I don't do meal plans anymore. I still get asked all the time, and people think that that's what they actually want, but it's really not doing them any favors. Understanding your intake is a tool that you can use for the rest of your life, okay? It totally changes the confusion around food, protein, fats, sugars, macronutrients, micronutrients, even fad diets. Understanding all of this will make it so much clearer, and it's really, really easy too, so much easier than you think. Ideally, you want to start with tracking for 14 days, okay, or 2 weeks. That will give you a great indication of what your metabolism is doing, the impact that your training is having, and also how much protein you're consuming. You can get a reasonable picture from say 5 or 7 days, but 14 is a lot better. Now, it's sort of like getting a blood test or say a hormone test or an allergy test. You can see a doctor and tell them how you're feeling, the symptoms you're getting, you know, what you're doing, but getting a test done gives a really good behind the scenes look at what your body is actually doing. Now, it's kind of the same thing. It gives us, or gives me, a behind the scenes look at what your metabolism is doing, and when we enter the rest of the information like your training modality, your volume of training, and I guess look at your goals as well, we start to really understand why what you're doing isn't working and what you should actually be doing. An example of this would be doing, say, multiple 8-week challenges, super low calorie intake, super high endurance training. This is a recipe for a really slow metabolism. So if I were to just assume you're wrongly reporting your intake, if you tell me you're eating 1200 calories and not losing weight, it'd take weeks to understand why we weren't making any progress. Then we'd basically have to start again and prescribe you a new strategy, which is a waste of time, okay? All right, guys, so now on to ways to track your food and why I use MyFitnessPal. First, you don't have to use an app, okay? Once upon a time, there was no apps, all right? You'd have to actually use a notepad and a calculator, but it took ages. And many years ago, this is actually how I learned to do this. So you think it's time consuming spending 5 or 10 minutes a day entering your food now? It would have taken me well and truly over an hour before any of these apps were around, and you'd probably need to be, well, you guys anyway would need to be really quite experienced in the nutritionist field to be able to work it out as well. So I don't guarantee or don't, yeah, you guys know what I mean. I just don't suggest that you go down that track. There is a much easier, quicker, and more accurate way that makes the most sense. Now, there are other apps out there. I personally don't have any experience using anything other than MyFitnessPal because that's what I was introduced to. It worked so well from the start, and I honestly haven't bothered to change it. I don't have any affiliation or get paid by MyFitnessPal. I still use it myself, and that's what we'll be looking at today. In addition to this, MyFitnessPal has a ridiculous amount of food and drinks preloaded in there. You'll actually be surprised what is in there. There's a barcode scanner too, so if something isn't there, or even if you can't be bothered searching, sometimes it can be quicker to actually just scan the barcode and it comes straight up. Okay, so that's probably enough right now about why to track and I guess how to track. Let's get into the app itself, and I'll show you how I use it and how you should use it as well. I'm going to record the screen on my phone as well, so that's why it's going to be vertical. So if it looks a little bit funny, it doesn't take up the whole screen. But in all honesty, I'd rather it look funny on the video than show you on my computer, which I can do, but it does look very different to the app, and I assume most of you will be using the app. All right, so let's get into using the app. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys how to enter, say, a meal, for example. So there is a couple of ways that you can do this. So if you have been using MyFitnessPal, a really, really easy way to do this is if you have a look at breakfast here, you'll see that it says add breakfast from 4 days ago. So you can do that, swipe right, and then all the food appears in your breakfast area. Now, to delete stuff, you just go up to the top to edit, and you can go select all and then hit delete, which is handy. Now, if you didn't want to repeat your breakfast, for example, from yesterday or 4 days ago or whatever it might be, let's say today we're having avocado, eggs, on toast, okay? So you want to go to add food, and then what we're going to do is search eggs, and then it will come up. All right, so see the little ones here with the green tick? That means that it is verified and it is a trusted source. Anything that doesn't have a green tick, it is not verified and it is not trusted, which means that you can actually use it, but the chances of it being incorrect is a little bit higher. So you do always want to look for something with a green tick. If it doesn't have a green tick, it is not to worry, but you just want to be a little bit more cautious around that. So let's say for breakfast we're having 2 large eggs. So here it already says 1 large egg. Now we're going to have 2. You're going to come here to number of servings, and you're going to change that to 2 large eggs. And then we'll click the tick at the top right hand corner, and then all of a sudden you've got your 2 large eggs in there. Let's say we're going to have some toast. So our bread, we're going to have some sourdough. So here is where you can actually use the barcode scanner tool, which I'll show you in a minute with something else. But let's say you've got a loaf of bread, you can just literally scan the barcode, and maybe you don't have the barcode on the bread, which I don't today. I'm using the Woolworths sourdough traditional loaf, and we're going to have 50 grams of it. So see here, you can actually change the amount. So the set amount on the screen here is 100 grams for 1 serve. Well, we don't want to have 1 serve, which you would tick that little wheel to 1. I want to have 50 grams, which is half of that. So I'm going to turn that wheel to half and then tick. All right, now we're going to add in some avocado. I won't get too boring with you guys and start adding a whole heap of stuff. Avocado, all right, 50 grams. It's already entered in there. I've already set it to 50 grams. So here under number of servings, you'll see 1 2/3 is 50. Now I don't expect you guys to be a mathematician. Let's just say that serving there is 30 grams and you're actually having 20 grams. Well, I know that 20 grams is 2/3 of 30 grams. Okay, so here you can see that 20 grams is actually entered in there. You may not know, it might be something completely off. Let me show you an example. What can we use here? Let's just say, here we go. So some plain Chobani yogurt. Okay, so 1 serving is 170 grams. Well, I usually have 200 grams of Chobani. So you'll notice here that 1 1/4 is just over 200 grams. That's what I usually enter into MyFitnessPal, and I'll just do, 210 grams when I'm measuring out my yogurt in the morning. And then you can swipe right, just like I did, and you can click delete if you don't want to add that food. So it's really, really easy to enter your food. Now let's say that you're going out for dinner, you're going to a Thai restaurant. Now it's going to be really hard to, I guess, track when you're out, but tracking something is better than tracking nothing. So my tip here is to go to, let's enter it in lunch. And you're going to type in whatever it is that you have at Thai. So when I go to Thai, I have pad Thai, yum. And then here you'll see that there's a couple of different ones to choose from, okay? So I usually will go with the higher end of the calories. I do know that they are quite high in calories getting pad Thai. So, you'll see one here, 1.5 cups, 315 grams. I know that that's probably not accurate. Things like Thai food is quite high in calories. So I would generally pick, so 1 cup is 400 calories. I would usually have 1.5 cups. So I'm going to use that. There you go. 600 calories does actually sound quite reasonable. Now, in cases like this, you are going to have to really eyeball your food. Let's just say you don't go to Thai and you're going out to the pub for dinner, okay? And you're going to have steak and veggies. Simply just eyeball the steak, guesstimate it's probably going to be roughly around 200 grams, and then a bowl of vegetables, or maybe you have some chips on the side or whatever it might be. So the other cool thing is that when you say you go and have pizza, okay, I don't know, not everyone eats pizza, but I'm a huge fan of pizza. It's already pre-entered in there. So you can actually enter in Domino's, pizza, Domino's pizza, and then you can choose from the list there. So let's just say you're gonna have 1 slice of large pepperoni. Well, I'm actually gonna have 3 or let's say 4 slices. Usually have about 4 slices of pizza. There you go, it's 1200 calories for 4 slices, just in case you didn't know. So that's really easy how to enter your different meals. Now, there are so many things preloaded in there, like I said before, and the really great tool is the scanning barcode, which I'll show you right now. So it's about that team. Right. So we've got here some sugar-free biscuits, shortbread cookies. Now you've got the barcode on the side. You simply click the barcode scanner and search, and then it's saying for 6.6 grams, which is probably roughly one cookie. So you'll just obviously turn to how many cookies you have. So let's just say you have 6, then you'll swipe the little wheel to 6 or whatever it might be. We're just gonna have 1 for today. And then you click tick. Like, it's as easy as that. You just need to be very mindful of the serving size and make sure that it matches what you enter. That's where underreporting actually takes place, okay? Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is how to enter a recipe, all right? If you're a lot of people out there, they'll have spaghetti bolognese for dinner, or maybe you guys have a curry for dinner with the family or whatever it might be. How the hell do you enter that into MyFitnessPal? So let's just say you go to the internet and you want to have, let's say, spaghetti bolognese, because I love spaghetti bolognese. We're gonna find a recipe for spaghetti bolognese. And this is really cool, guys. So we're gonna copy the ingredients. So we're literally going to copy all of the ingredients. Copy. So we're going to go add food, then we're going to go plus, and then we're going to go create a recipe. Okay, so we can enter the ingredients manually. You've got the option to enter it from the web as well. So we're going to call this spaghetti bolognese. Servings. How many servings does this make? I'm just going to quickly have a look. Servings make 6 servings, bulk import ingredients, and then what we're going to do is paste the ingredients on here and then click next. Now it's going to match the ingredients from the MyFitnessPal database and match it to the recipe. So it's going to give you an idea here. It's going to say, yep, these are the ingredients that I've matched. Is that okay with you? There's one ingredient here that actually isn't matched. So that was the garlic, which I have actually seen that before. The garlic tends to be a little bit of a problem, but that's all right. So if we just go garlic, search, and then, there we go. Garlic. Let's say it's about 5 grams, and then you can literally click the arrow right for next. It's going to tell you here the nutritional facts about it, and then you can click save and log. Okay, so that it's as easy as that. So now that recipe is in there, so that next time you cook that on your weekly meal or whatever it might be, it's really easy to pick up and log for you. You're not entering in every single minute ingredient that you normally would. So that's virtually how you track your food, guys.
Woo!
That basically wraps it all up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've got some value out of this, and I have a heap of other training videos on my YouTube channel on metabolism. I've got fitness videos, I've got everything, so feel free to go check them out. Until next week, guys, have a great week.